Arsenic on the beat.
Quick keer Stevie Wonder.
Great song.
The Babbling Heads podcast.
Yo, what's up? This is the Base 187 and welcome to the Babbling Heads podcast.
I'm Dj Fingaz.
Websta.
Hi.
Charlie X2C.
Yo, and usually I will introduce the guest, but today we're welcoming queer body singer, songwriter, lyricist, and MC born on the Cape Flats. Welcome, Mr. Lance Lightyear.
Hey.
Welcome.
Before we go into that, I just want to reintroduce my brother. That's a tweede keer nou op die Babbling Heads as a guest.
Okay.
Guest presenter?
Guest presenter, yeah. The floating one.
The floating one.
Floater.
Yes,
So,
the
kyk, ons hom unfortunately
Stukkie
ingegooi. Ons hom aan die deep side gegooi laas keer met die hammer in, né? Hy was 'n bietjie unfair geweest, but okay.
I loved it.
But he's here to
That's why I'm back.
He's here to represent the New Apostolics. I like this New Apostolics.
Apostolics.
Yeah, nee.
Anyway, let's get back to the interview.
Yes.
First question.
First question, please.
Well, welcome, Lance.
Hey.
How are you today?
I am good, thanks. A little bit nervous, a little
Don't need to
bit.
be nervous. We don't bite twice.
Yeah.
So, Lance, checked a little bit about you, found out a little bit about you, and know that you're from the Cape Flats. You're from Mitchell's Plain originally, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, can you give us a little bit of info? Tell us more about you.
Lance Lightyear, love music, queer body, basically. Started music at a very, very young age. I think it was one of the first things that, when you find something that you really like and really love, it was that specific thing for me. Breaking out into music was easy because I had a background of family that did music. So my father sings, everyone sings around the house type of thing. So it was easy for me to adapt that, talent for it, let's say. Eventually, I just went and did competitions and things like that. I sang in crash concerts, and then the emotion and passion for it just continued to grow. After that, it went further until it wasn't it was like a facade, man. Until I had to rip off something, because I was doing all of these things that I love, but I wasn't loving myself throughout it, and being true to who I was within. So I quit that whole thing. That was let's say just the start of it. And then after high school, let's say, when I decided to finally stand for who I was and then be true to who I was, coming out as a queer body, I decided to embrace it and then do it in the thing that I love the most.
Okay.
Which was the most freeing thing, I think, for me. So yeah, it's been a battle, or let's just say it's been a journey within music. But I think the most freeing thing for me has been being able to be myself within the music type of thing. So before all of these things, it basically just led me to this very point where I can now finally say that I have a certain purpose or a certain message or something to bring about that very love that I had in the beginning when I was just a little younging, just being around the house listening to all of these things and being enticed by it, So it became more important and purposeful, driven by the passion.
You actually answered my question a certain way, because there is artists in Cape Town. You'll see them at Pride. Gooi hulle jackets mooi af. Jy kan sien hulle is familie. But they, in their personal persona, they don't say that they are. But look, it's their prerogative if they want to come out or not. But you decided, look, okay, this is who I am. Boom, first glance, this week is ba 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 ba. So
Lance at first glance. I like that.
so break down why is it so important? You said it's important, but why personally to you? Break down that a bit. Let's unpack that a bit.
Because for me, I was suffering. I was suffering under the thing that I loved, Obviously, having to go out and do what I do, whether it was performing, whether it was just in school doing whatever I needed to do. There was always this part of me that I needed to how can I say, like, shelter myself from, or also like protect myself. So there was like this type of thing that I had. So I was never really able to be like fully truthful about who I was. I was consistently, I wouldn't say lying, I was protecting myself. You know what I'm trying to say, from the world. And then when you see, you don't have people that like necessarily like people that you can look up to, you know, in the community, or whether it be the very thing that you love, like in music. I didn't have anybody specifically that I could say that, wow, look at them, like that's something that my representation, or I can like relate to that type of thing. So I saw the need for that to happen, you know what I'm trying to say. So I took like this responsibility, because at the end of the day, I kind of came out type of thing, was true to myself, and I knew that I wanted to do music, and I knew that I was going to be a superstar type of thing. Like I was just like, that's something that you've dreamt of since day one, so you have to live it through. But the only way you can do that is by really being true to yourself. So I took an oath basically to myself to be that exact person for somebody else, like so that they could see the representation, or they could see somebody, you know, that has or suffers or is going through the same things that they go through.
So they could see someone that they could model themselves on.
Or someone that they could just like, you know, say like, I recognize that feeling, and I see you type of thing, man. I wanted also in a way to be seen, you know, and I knew that I was losing myself within this thing that I liked the most, just because I wasn't able to like do me, you know what I'm trying to say. It was constant battle. School was terrible, like everything, like up until the moment of before freeing myself. I can just remember like loving music and doing things like musically and singing and whatever, but it was terrible. Like until
At what age did you come out?
I think it was after high school. I think that was like a really good moment for me to be like, yo, because it was like, I'm done with all of this pretending, you know. I don't have anybody that I need to see now constantly. I don't have, I was just like done. And although I did have like queer friends, but like we were like close knit, man. It was like we needed to like
It's a little
form our
community.
own, like our own small little community, and only we could like know what was happening and protect ourselves type of thing, man. And I was getting tired of this pretense, and I was also getting tired of feeling fearful towards like, you know, the next person for just like being who I am.
Which brings
exactly
me
that.
to my next question, which I wanted to ask. Growing up in Mitchell's Plain, I mean, we know in our communities, in our neighborhoods and whatever, the queer community has always shunned in a way. You know, it's sorry that it has to be that way, and it is like that. But now, how did you cope? What was your coping mechanism? And how did you kind of go through what you were going through as you were coming out and within your community, to make people understand and to make people sort of be more, how can I say, understanding, yeah?
Yeah, like you said, I am from Mitchell's Plain, so I do have this very, I wouldn't say it's a rough approach towards these things, but you have to like always stand up for yourself, like
Thick skin.
yeah, like super thick skin. So lucky for me, I was able to like travel, high school and all of those. Whenever I was faced with like hostility, I was able to like protect myself from that. I'm not sure that everybody can do that. Do you know what I mean? So I think that and I, like I said, I had a few friends, you know, and we were like close. We were like literally standing up for each other every corner. At every corner, if anybody had to say something, be something, do something, with a pounce, you know what I'm trying to say, and bust a cap, you know, because it's like living this truth. It's like every day having to realize that it could be the day that you die, you know, for just being like, just going out and looking like this or just doing that, you know. So how do you like actively make that decision, you know? It's like kind of like what you're putting yourself through this type of thing. And I guess in some way you like also think about all of these things. But if you just like see the the truth in it is that you are just like who you are, man. Like, you know, and when you have people that surround you, that ground you, that are able to like protect you, or like, you know, the only way you can find those people, I think, is when you kind of also be true to yourself and speak to somebody, you know, somehow you find somebody, somehow you connect your way, you know. And lucky for me, like I say, I was able to do that. I was able to be strong and be from like a place where you needed to always be strong, you know. So none of that could like really affect me in that way, even though it did it, but it also made me come harder, you know what I mean? Because now I'm like, oh, y'all don't like me, be hot, like I'm even now more popping, you know what I'm trying to say. And that's why I keep it popping. I keep it like on that level so that it's not for me, you know. It's not something that I'm doing because it's literally to break the bounds and the stigmas and all of these stupid like fears that people have for no reason, you know, for really no reason. And it's coming from a long time ago. I mean, we're moving into a different, you know, type of energy. Even if we're talking about like the frequency of the world and the consciousness that we're trying to raise, the vibration on this earth, we're moving, you know. So for me, it's just like trying to create like an specific, like not artifact or like a specific like ancient conversation that I know was had already, and bring it forward, man. Continue the message, like go out and be that person, you know, and be strong and know that you're not doing it for yourself, but there is a bigger and greater purpose for this. I don't know.
So through your music, do you actually try to peel back layers? And bring out the vulnerability?
That's my favorite place. It's actually the place where I enjoy to be. Honestly, I like writing music. I love writing music. I love spitting. I like, you know, I like, I like, also most now, you know, but I like doing my thing on the music thing. Anything like a beat, a vibe, but I like to, what I really like to do is to make it my own and speak from my personal experience and somehow animate that or make it cinematic enough for people to like obviously feel the natural elements that the music need to have, but also like speak my truth in it, because like I said, of the importance that I feel for it, you know.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Close your microphone.
Thank you, man. I have a question.
Poor guy.
Do you think that Lil Nas inspires a lot of people, like in the queer community, and a lot of artists to, you know, be confident enough to, you know, break boundaries?
I think he's fire. I've been thinking he was fire since his first mixtape. I think like when you have such an amazing like platform, or such a big platform, let's just say, you know, and you're using it for positivity and good, like actually showing out and being that queer body and doing that thing, then I'm for it. Like I'm inspired by it. Like it gives me power to also know that I can also hopefully get to that type of level of mainstream and then still share like, you know, my story and bring the others that is coming behind me as well, like to that type of like, you know, freeing. I don't know. I just want like,
Sorry, Shaq, ik wil nog een vraag vragen. But don't you think hij heeft een beetje kakken gevangen met die Satan dingen?
Yeah, I wanted to like.
it's a matter of perspective, guys. You know, they've been calling us devils.
Yeah, I get
Okay.
that.
So there's it's a very visually, obviously, it's it's work on him and then you cut, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's just obviously visually trying to create this like story, obviously, that everybody can relate to, but it is specific to queer bodies. It's like you've been seeing us as devils, you know what I'm trying to say? So watch us become that and then, you know, slice the devil up and rock that, you know, joint, because that's what we, you know, just basically owning your queerness. That's it. But obviously he needed to get the world to understand, and that's what I also commend
the blood in the tech is
okay, that I don't know about that, but like I mean, you know.
Okay, but at the same time, you go to church every week, or those who do attend church, and you take in the body of Christ, the blood of Christ. So, what?
I have a problem with that. I get a problem with religion in any case.
You know, organized religion, to be honest, for me, period. I don't even know why we even going there, because like, not where I'm going, does it even belong there? Because where I was from, it was a very holding me down type of thing, down pressing type of thing, and that's why I wasn't able to.
We actually had 2 guests on. I don't know if you saw the previous episode, Grayson, and we had Tuli. Weirdly enough, they always reinterpret the scriptures, man. And I'm like, for me personally, when I first heard it, I thought to myself, why would you even worry about what happened or somebody wrote down 2,000 years ago, man? What, you know what I'm saying? But now I actually understand, because hulle doen dit vir light is wat queer is, wat wat nog moet opgroeien. Wat moet kyk toe gaan in die Bijbel sê, ja, there's a devil, and whatever, soos little Nas sê, so hulle reinterpret, hy basically wat light is, sê, kyk, dude, this is a baddie, man. So I understand but still, you're quoting a book of 2,000 years old. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, back to your writing, and this is specifically on this track with Malky 021, which features yourself and Amy Brown.
My girl.
Love it, love it.
This particular, I want you to break down this verse. Charlie, if you can just play it for me,
Sure.
so we can all have a listen.
Ooh, I'm loving it more than
Ain't
McDonald's.
easy living your life, and it ain't easy trying to do right, and it ain't easy, but we keep on dreaming. 'Cause it ain't
So today I play
easy.
dress up, putting on skin with skin, feeling like the skin I'm wearing is paper thin, wearing thin, shredding thoughts of happiness. Does this exist? Ask me the day I probably miss the time to find things that make me happiest. Yes, I resist, or is it just a fickle test to digest the balance that I once dismissed? The balance I once, yes, some of you caught me slipper watches, I went on to slip. I was choked up, but stunning like a magazine poster. The glow up was orchestrated by all the setbacks. I kick back, contour the line for more definition. I dress up at the cost of balance and self-love. More skin just makes a bigger canvas to paint on. So press on and wear it like a symbol of purpose, to not just forget that you the child of
It
promise.
ain't easy.
Ooh, that's fire, that's fire.
I ate that. I ate that up. Yeah, I did eat
Nice,
that up.
So tell me what.
The 2 levels, man. 2 voices beside harmonies, but fuck.
So tell me the message behind it, because like you said, it's like putting on the skin and you're feeling as paper thin. It's like almost telling me that the facade is wearing out.
Dude, that was basically, and I think it always draws back to being like a queer body. This time I used the bars to speak about like makeup and like nail press-ons and like contouring and things like that. So it was also like my physicality of like how you see me like do my eyeshadow, you see me looking popping, you see me doing all of these things. But I also have like a lot of things that I'm like, you know, not speaking about or not like really sharing, you know, and I'm suffering also. So I play dress up, putting on all of the skin that I now currently have on, you know. But it's not just that, because at the end of the bar, it's like, it's to say that I have purpose. I do these things like, you know, because there's a purpose, there's a reason why these things are being done. So it's like going through all these levels of myself, be it self-hate, be it like not feeling good, be it me having to show up to things I don't really want to like show up to, be it like whatever. All of those things, but also still showing up and being, you know, popping and having to do that type of thing, yeah. So I think it was just me channeling all of those things, and then also just like trying to get it like in a rhyme scheme and like, you know.
Which was quite tight. The
You
rhyme scheme was tight.
know, nobody ever says that, but like I was also like very surprised for myself, because I'm like, I was like happy. I was like, yes.
Nice.
Pat yourself on the back.
Van the rhyme schemes, no? How do you unpack how you feel when legends like Busta Rhymes and Eminem, there was an interview with Busta Rhymes that I couldn't quote what they said. I cannot partake in that conversation. Somebody asked him about queerness in the hip hop, man. So he said, I cannot partake in this question. He murmurs, with all due respect, I can't I ain't even trying to offend nobody. What I represent culturally doesn't contain homosexuality whatsoever. When asked if a gay rapper could ever be accepted in hip hop, Busta walked out of the room. So yeah, the question is, and if you check on Eminem, hy's ook 'n fucking dope lyricist, but hy het die fucking nerve om vir dinges te roep, vir Tyler the Creator, like a faggot te noem. How do you look up to somebody that's got befuckte rhyme skills? Could you recognize that as a skill, but yet their fucking mentality is fucking 2,000 years old, man?
Using fuck a lot.
Yeah, but it's the truth because it's anyway these boys that are currently in the city doing things. Let me tell you that they are very inspired. Yes, they are very inspired by these very people that have these very opinions. You understand? So I have no way to still speak to them. They're not the people that I'm doing this for or speaking to. Do you understand? That's why when people say you a rapper, then I'm like, no, I'm not a rapper, baby. I'm a queer rapper. That is something that is rare, you know. A rapper we can find on any corner. You know, you can ask anybody, you'll be like, yo, can you rap something for me? Be like, whatever, you know. No, this is not what I'm doing here. You know what I'm trying to say? So we are not the same. That's what I always have to say to even what Eminem has to say, because he doesn't have to face everything that I have to go through to be, you know, even sitting in a conversation like this. You know what I'm trying to say? He doesn't have to like be an individual that constantly has to be like looked at in a way that is degrading before you even have to show your talent or do whatever it is you want to do. So, yeah.
So check your, like 6 years ago when Dopes and Jude came out, I think the first track was Angelo. And that's the first time.
I love both of them. They are iconic.
So like for me also, we had at the African Hip Hop in Daba, but like Dopes and Jude has since like toured South Africa, toured internationally, and I think a biggest hits on YouTube videos in the 6 years that she released, and it's just about 8 music videos that she's put out. But I think the biggest one is sitting on 486,000 views.
She's killing it. She's even on that Keep It the Great, or what is that animation? She has the soundtrack, like her song, I'm a girl just like that song.
That's,
like,
the girl track is like
that's
one
the type of things like queer people are doing. Like, you know, get with it. Like, that's the type of things that we, like, you don't hear, like in the underground, you won't hear people rev Dope St. Jude's name or maybe Angel Ho's name, but they be doing it, like, they be going and doing like big shows and doing the thing actually, you know what I mean? Y'all have petty boy little discussions. We don't have time for that.
No, that's the thing is like with the African hip hop in Daba, it's like for years we've been putting on artists, not just that's currently trending or making it's like going against the grain. And one of the platforms is like we were the first organization to send a queer body to Sweden as a dancer to go and learn. And this, I would say, you know Tazwell from Ocean View? He won Miss Gay Western Cape a couple of years back. But in any event, we sent him in his younger days over to Sweden, and he faced so much adversity from established dance schools, etc., where people told him, "Nee, jy's te wild and jy's te die." But he did it. He killed it on stage. And he's gone to do his own business. He's won the titles. My thing is, it's like with people breaking ground in the queer community, do you think like what Dopes and Jude, Angelo, etc., has that created more pathways and more enlightenment to the general public and making them more accepting of the plight?
I think definitely to the extent that they definitely can. You know what I mean? To the way that they obviously use their resource, you know, to shed light on what it is they want to. And I know that they love the truth in everything that they do, so they are doing amazing. Like, that's what I commend. It's the same way for me, you know. I consistently push myself in. I use myself, you know, and I go and I do and I shed that word of queerness and the revolution and queer expression and queer freedom in my music, you know. Well, hopefully one day what we have done will be able to like transfer, you know what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't say that I like I said, I didn't have anyone that I was actually looking up to when I started this thing, you know. I really didn't have anybody. But as I started doing things, I saw people that were actually doing the thing, like doing things. And then I'm like, those are the people that you should like try to connect with, or those are the people that you should like have like a bird's eye view that you like kind of see and like you kind of like murder yourself and see like what they're doing and how they're going about their thing and try to like, obviously apply that thing. So far, I've connected with all of these people, like, and we all bless each other's journey. You know what I mean? So that's like, it's a really great thing for me to see like queer bodies that are like doing their thing, also like connecting in that way, and then also like shedding light and like together, basically.
So musically, tell me more about your collaborations, like this collaboration specifically with Malky. I mean, who else have you collab with? Amy Brown, etc.
I have a few collaborations, but I also don't have much because I'm very like...
Just putting it out there.
Yeah. No, actually, I'm like I have the people that I want to like work with, but then I'm also like not a person that wants to work with people also like a lot, The reason for that is because I do EPs and I put myself on it and I don't need anybody to feature. I'm sure you guys have seen, like, that's how I work, because it's been me doing this thing. So, and besides, I've also like worked so hard on my craft, for me to be able to fill these gaps where I feel like there is an individual needed, For the album though that I am currently working on, my debut album, there will be features on. So that's exciting for me because now it's a little bit bigger than just that like thing of me, And I need to like, branch off and be like a individual that like allows people to step in, So I'm also trying to free myself from that. And that's why the last EP that I did was more of a experimental freeness because I literally did it by myself. Obviously I did the previous one, but Dante was mixing and mastering and things on that one. But this one, I did everything kinda, by myself, and so it was me just like doing the thing, man, and freeing myself with that thing, and like just writing, going like while I'm listening to the beat, writing the bars, singing it like that, mixing it, trying to make it look cute, and then putting out a product like that is like wholesome for myself, and being like, you are able to do this thing. Despite the adversities, despite the challenges that you have faced to get where you are, or anything that has actually hindered your path, the hostility, the many things that constantly you face. Like, you can do this thing for yourself. So, yeah.
I just wanted to touch on when you said you're a queer rapper, right? There was one thing that Emil said, say about 10 years ago, and he told us, imagine you have a queer rapper in Cape Town. Right? Just think about this, man. A person that's been fighting battles verbally, right? Verbal abuse. That had to think about like ways to come back, man. Do you understand? Just so like you can't listen. You can't diss a queer person. You know that. Right? So imagine a rapper like that, man. Yeah. And I'm sorry that I didn't have knowledge that there was a queer rapper in Cape Town, because they actually asked me now 2 weeks ago if I know a queer rapper that sent me from UCLA because they wanted to do a project or something. So,
but now there's nothing stopping you from referring him.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So
hit me
thanks,
up,
man.
Just talking about your upcoming album. You got a particular visual aesthetic that you incorporate in your music videos and in your visuals. Tell me more about the fashion side of things, because obviously, wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me.
Loving it.
My favorite like person like that I look up to type of thing that inspires me is Rihanna. I don't know if it's obvious, but like Rihanna, yeah. So like I also have the song Queer Rihanna, where I feel like it's an ode to her, and like the energy that she's like enabled me as well to have, like just that bad girl type vibe, and that's how I feel like about my music. And you also hear like the way I express myself is very also like bad girl. I don't know,
bad girl, man.
type of thing. So yeah, the fashion and the things, I think I always like to push boundaries. I always like to think of things out of the box. I think if anyone's done it before, or if like people are doing it, then I don't want to do it. Do you know what I mean? I have this thing about myself.
You're not a follower.
Yeah, like I like to set trends, and I like also to like do my own thing. Like even this hairstyle, I knew nobody's gonna do it. Like and nobody's gonna pull it off as well. So I'm that person that's gonna take that, put that myself up to the task and be like, what you gonna do right now? And then I just like ace it. So I think that's also like the type of thing, like, you know, it's just like having this passion and just like seeing it and manifesting that type of thing and then just going for it and grabbing it and being like authentic within that specific thing, whatever it is, you know? Yeah.
Lovely.
Check, yeah, I did some. I saw, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I saw. You shared one of the Cape Town's influencers, man, and they made a joke, whatever. I struggle with that, man. Where like my bra Zayn, ek maak gat met Zayn, ons almal maak gat met Zayn, but obviously we know each other personally, so it's fine. You know what I'm saying? We know the boundaries with him personally. But do you think where does the line start, where it's just a joke? And it's becoming dangerous where it's a community laughing and it feels dangerous for you personally.
I think
where's the line? You know what I'm saying? There has to be a moment where you can gat maak, where you can laugh at yourself also. Whether you queer or not, you know what I'm saying? But where's the line for you think?
I think when you're creating like a space for like hate to like exist, then I think that's like a line that I will draw. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Don't mind the jokes, because we've been through like jokes and we've been through like, but we can also like, there's some things that are specifically reserved for queer people, you know, like I will say to my queer friend like, hey sis, hey girl, whatever, and I'll speak to them like that specifically, but you can't just like come up and say something like that. Like that is the line, because you thinking now what? You are now who? Like, you know, and a lot of the times, heterosexual people like to like adopt queer like personalities or things like you know like fetishes and vibes and whatever. Then they think like it's funny, man. Like it's not funny also at the same time, because now it's a joke to you and I'm a spectacle to you and I'm entertainment. That's not like what I am. Like
I actually have the tendency of saying but okay, I obviously know the people, so then I'd go like my sister, you know, Macy. But I'm not going to do that to just any stranger walking
yeah,
in the
no,
street,
of course.
I'm getting it now actually, because ek het gedink aan die previous skits wat hy gemaak het met die dress aan en hy. So now I get it. Okay, because I was just thinking now because I duck home and I duck basically.
Do you understand? And then he consistently also wants to like adopt this personality type of thing, and only now for clout or for fun or for entertainment or for whatever. But when it comes to important people like queer people dying and queer people like living their lives or even succeeding, not specifically only negative things. Obviously, I don't want that to be the narrative of queer bodies. That's why I do what I do, so that we can have some positive narrative, you know, and we can take our narrative back, you know. So you don't use like that opportunities to shed light on queer, but now you want to be like speaking about nonsense, you know, like keep quiet, like don't you have something else to do with your time? That's when you are actively creating space for hate for queer people to exist, you know what I mean? And
so would that say that cisgender people should not be adopting, or heterosexual males should not be adopting the persona or representing the queer community in that sense, because they're obviously capitalizing on it and monetizing it?
Yes, especially if they're doing it for us performative. If it's performative, then leave it alone. Do you know what I mean? If it's for a performance, for a thing, because we got actual real queer bodies that are these very people that you are taking these very things from. You're taking things from people. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's like rappers stealing actors' jobs.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
so, is that
why don't you get the queer body that is doing the thing and let them give you the show?
Can I kind of just come in there? Because, look, I'm an entertainer, I'm an actor, and I've played many a gay character on stage, right? And I still remember, I'm going to mention them, Duismus Reality and Sugan Story and Sisters in Arms. So when I did those, I actually used to invite my queer friends, right, to the Baxter. And at the end of the performance, they would say, Jay is die beste movie wat ons nog ooit gesien het.
Now that's the type of thing. Involve them then in the process.
I mean, my costumes and everything, they supplied me with it.
Do you understand? That's the type of thing. Like involve them, involve us in the process. Like you not like don't like just exclude us and then want to like take from us at the same time. Like it doesn't work that way. Like I commend you for that because that's very beautiful. You know what I mean? Because they were there with you. They were there to see you through this whole thing type of thing. So you got their blessing type of thing. And that's also important. Do you know what I mean?
I actually sat with him for 2 weeks just to sort of study mannerisms because I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it justice, you understand? And also just the fact that these guys accepted me as in I'm portraying their character on stage, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
And like he says, they gave me the blessing.
Yeah.
And
I think just
coming
also maybe we also just have to pay homage and give thanks to Dawn and Jeff because I think in our teenage years, his two cousins work with buddies and we hung out a lot with them. They were older than us. We used to drink with them, party with them. They never did anything wrong or tried to touch us, cock like that. What the normal people demonize us.
The narrative.
We was just having fun. Yes, we used to impersonate, we used to make cut, etc.
Yes.
But was
all of a
them
sudden you'd hear
me switching over
Shaquille
Classic Banana Guy.
bailing.
And it's fun. I mean, it's community, it's friendship, it's love, it's peace, it's all of those
Was
things.
never done like from a place of hate or harm, etc.
Ever, like you know, and I feel like that's where the line is, man. Like I feel like when heterosexual people continue to take the narrative, they speak for us, like they think that they really are queer eventually or in some way, then they want to just do this thing where they think that they can talk, and the things that they have to say is the worst things. Do you understand? And it always sheds light on negative things. It's never anything that's enlightening, you know, about a queer body, and that is what is annoying.
Ek het just the last week gerealized the cisgender privilege. I never realized that we actually have a privilege actually. Wat crazy. So even met my wat opgegroeid met you know what I'm saying? Wat met queer mense. Ek always like my movie man.
Yeah.
So even with me growing up with Zayn and Wimpy and whatever, I still didn't even. There's still avenues that I haven't realized that you guys go through, man. You know what I'm saying?
Privileges and spaces that we have access to.
Exactly.
I actually got told off once by also a couple of my queer friends because jy weet ons like musiek woord gebruik moffie. And then they told me, listen, there's a total different entity. Moffie, gay, queer. Ek was op my plek gesit. Can you kind of just for those that don't know, because I got that little speech.
For me, it's all the same, no? It's all the same. It's just Mufi is like you are specifically trying to be like derogatory. You're trying to like swear at me, like you know. It's like saying faggot in America. It's like you're trying to like use this thing as a negative, like you just created this whole negative entity towards like a word. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like a swear word.
It's like calling a person a K word.
Yeah, like that. Like it's like that. It's like you like really like going for it. Like you attacking my innermost self and my I'm proud for who I am, but now you're making me want to go back into my shell. It's like this word that you're saying to me right now is like everything. It's like this big boulder and you throwing it on me.
Can I just say
loosely?
Kijk nou of wat Zayn. Zayn sal van my moffie noem. Moffie moenie try nie. Hy sal my vrou, hulle twee, my vrou is beste buddies. Hy was my best man by the way.
Okay.
Hy sal van my vrou noem moffie moenie try nie. Like so man. Toe een keer ook al op WhatsApp toe sê vir ons guys, julle kan nie meer moffie gebruik nie. Toe vloek ek hom uit toe sê kom 2000 ons woord. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that is my privilege ook weer.
Yes, that is definitely your privilege.
But I think
that was an awesome nickname for mekaar, man.
Yeah, I think also like as people they adopted it because that was the norm back in the day, but now they're actually coming into power and saying like the interview with Graceman was very empowering for us in terms of letting us know like just the words that we grew up saying. It's not okay. It's not cool.
It's gonna take time for me to let go of that word. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, no, you need to take the time. Take the time to. It's gonna do you.
Doe dit buite nie though.
Like I said earlier, you need to be politically erect.
Work demon. With that being said, thanks for coming onto the podcast, sharing your truth, sharing your journey. sharing your fabulous self. I'm sure some viewers out there are gonna take some tips. Yeah,
I'm
say
hoping
the box braids, the box braids, and you
eyeshadow
and
popping. Can you
Oh,
do that?
it's all shot in HD, 1080p.
Okay.
There we go. I think Charlie, are we gonna play out with one of your music videos?
But can I just do one thing before
Yeah,
we
do
go?
one thing.
Let's praat.
Where and what are you doing besides now the album? What is the way forward for Lance Lightyear?
I'm gonna be performing at this event next week. Creative Natives. I'm gonna be performing there. It's on the 24th. And then on the 1st, me and Synapses is doing like the show as well together. It's in Loop Street. Y'all can check my socials. I'll be sharing that eventually, maybe like later on this day. The album is very, very important because
Where can people check you out? How you said now?
yeah, Instagram. Oh yeah, they can definitely get me on Instagram, Lance Lightyear. My handles are all the same. You can Google me as well. You can listen to me. Yeah, you can listen to me on Spotify, SoundCloud. My album EP that I just released, Rainbow Reintroduction, is for download, so you can download that and have that for yourself. And then you can listen to Queer Urban Memoir on my Spotify, and then my
One
album's
last
coming
question. I'm gonna kick myself with and ask this. Why Lightyear?
Lightyear, bringing light year type of thing. So it's knowledge, light and knowledge is like equal parts. So light and knowledge is equal parts. So it's light and year 360. So all around. So bringing light all around.
Or
Trying
you
to
can
like
say you Lightyear's ahead of your competition.
most basically, that's how it goes as well. You've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, just before we play out, with that event being on the 24th, can we drop the episode on the 23rd? On Wednesday.
Yeah, let's do it then.
Okay, cool. So you can get some props for that.
Okay,
before-
they must
before the
come
show.
through. People come through. I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna look super cute, obviously, and I'm gonna slay. I haven't been on the stage for quite some time, so
Tell me about
come
it.
through. Come through.
Alright, here we go. Peace.
Safety boots.
Gaan dus een normal bias in. Gaat dus eerst doen.
The Sage.
Woke up this morning with a smile on my face. Completing my order, better rock on my J. I'm taken from destruction. Way too fly to be forgotten. Yeah. Can you raise me from the culture? I go harder under clouds of marijuana. Energy, vibrational telepathy. Just hasn't been a friend of me. Or maybe it's a solstice that has my mind fixated on the bullshit. Energy, been shaking up my frequency. You haven't been a friend of me. Or maybe I realized that you ain't shit, you're just keeping us backtrack. Can you raise me from the culture? I go out under clouds of marijuana. Can you raise me from the culture? No, I go out under clouds of marijuana. Nah. Can you raise me from the culture? Nah. It's in the energy, been clouding up my atmosphere. Let rainbows come, and you see we form parts of everything. Most of what's hidden down beneath and kept in your secret garden. Damn. Your secret garden. Damn. Secrets in your pocket. Secrets. No one there to trust in. You're gonna trust in. Secrets in your garden. Damn. Can you raise me from the culture? I go out under clouds of marijuana. Can you raise me from the culture? No, I go out under clouds of marijuana. Nah.
hasn't been a friend of me.
I think it's stunning.
Dope.
Or maybe it's the
Totally,
solstice
totally,
that has
totally.
my mind fixated on the bullshit. Or maybe I realized that you ain't shit, you just keeping us backtrack.
Nou, look at this.
Wow. Yes.
Jou voet in die see gekry nie, joh.
Yo, I was wearing socks, so at least like, you know, there was that layer.
And aren't you just lucky enough to actually live in one of the most beautiful places
Do you
in the
know
world?
what I
eh?
mean? Yo, it was
That
so
scenery, everything is just
amazing to
wow.
be there and just to like do my thing and be like representing like queerness like in that space and showing that it's divine and it's beautiful and it's like magical. I look like a forest nymph flying there. I look like a butterfly.
I
Do you
felt a
know what I'm
butterfly.
trying to
I felt
say? I'm like a witch doctor or whatever, but I'm mantring out that space and I'm saying that we are here and we are queer and you can't erase us from the culture.
Yes!
That lyrics actually.
I'm loving that. Wow.
Okay, from the Babbling Heads.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, so
yeah.
from the Babbling Heads, the base 187, peace out.
DJ Fingaz.
Webster.
Charlie X2C.
Lightyear, your favorite queer, kom deur soos donne weer.
Au, weet! Soos 'n nat kat op 'n warme teerpad.